You're sitting at your computer, scrolling through possible job listings, and spot your dream job. Great company, great salary, great benefits, and you meet all of the qualifications. You open up an application, fill in the forms, upload your resume, but just before you can hit submit, the most terrible, dreadful, horrifying pop-up appears. Please submit a cover letter. No need to worry. Let's look at the exact cover letter I used to get this job so you can write one that gets you your next job. Having spent the last nearly 2 years working online, I have learned that the most beneficial methods of online tutoring or education depend on the connection between the student and the instructor. Whether I am engaging with a group of young students from elementary school through high school, or working one-on-one with adults, I am confident in my ability to connect with the students in a personable way. I've been fortunate to experience a range of teaching circumstances and feel I would be well suited to work with Deliberate English LLC. I am well organized, can manage a variety of roles, and focus on doing whatever is best for my students. Joining a program that is as innovative as this is exciting because I want to challenge the current methods of online education and show society that it is a valid method of language learning. I look forward to hearing from you and the chance to pick your brain about the program your company has developed for student engagement. Alrighty, let's break this cover letter down and touch on a few important tips. Tip number 1. Before you write anything, get your resume out. You need to write your cover letter as a supplement, meaning an additional part that provides support to your resume. This will be your chance to expand on details you couldn't explain in your resume, get a little more personal, and highlight the most relevant things you want the potential employer to know about you. Tip number 2, look at the position requirements. What are they looking for in a candidate? You want to address most of the qualification requirements in your cover letter. Let's look at the requirements Kevin put in his job listing. The ideal candidate has taught ESL students in the past, has learned a foreign language, ideally Spanish, is good with technology, and is able to work as an independent contractor and send invoices. With those requirements in mind, let's look at my introduction paragraph again and see how I applied tips 1 and 2. I jumped right into addressing some of Kevin's requirements by explaining my past work experience using the following sentence. Having spent the last nearly 2 years working online, I have learned that the most beneficial methods of online tutoring or education depend on the connection between the student and the instructor. This sentence structure, having done something, I have learned something, is a formal way to introduce the skills or insight you gained while working for a period of time. Let's look at a few examples. Using the structure we just saw, how could you complete this sentence? You can see a clue at the top of the screen. Having taken computer science courses for 3 years, I have learned a variety of practical technical skills that would be beneficial to this position. Let's look at another one. Having worked abroad for 6 months, I have learned to appreciate cultural differences when working with international teams. An important grammar tip. If you want to use a verb after I have learned, it needs to be in the infinitive form with to. For example, I have learned to appreciate cultural differences. So, using this structure, how might you tell your potential employer the following things? Having studied English for 4 years, I have learned to improve my communication skills when speaking with native and non-native speakers. Looking back at the requirements compared to my cover letter, notice that I didn't specifically say ESL students in the paragraph. This is actually indicated in my resume under my work experience section here. Instead of repeating information from my resume, I used this whether or sentence to give greater detail regarding the kinds of students I have worked with. This sentence structure is useful when you want to show a range of skills or experiences. Let's take a look at it. How can you use it here? Whether I am working in the office or working remotely from home, I am always focused on deadlines and schedules. How about another one? Whether I am working independently or working with a team, I am determined to complete any project. An important grammar tip. For your range of skills or experiences, use be plus ing verbs to show that these are skills that you have now and will continue to have in the future. If we use past tense here, it would sound like you used to have these skills, but now, for some reason, you don't. How would you use this structure to tell your potential employer the following? Whether I am managing large teams of up to 100 people or working as support staff for someone else, I am always enthusiastic to get the best results for the clients. Alrighty, back to those requirements. How did I tell Kevin about my ability to work as an independent contractor or my technology skills? Having spent the last nearly 2 years working online, I have learned that the most beneficial methods of online tutoring or education depend on the connection between the student and the instructor. Whether I'm engaging with a group of young students from elementary school through high school or working one-on-one with adults, I am confident in my ability to connect with students in a personable way. Again, I didn't specifically use the words independent contractor or technology, but I mentioned online and one-on-one with adults to reference my resume where I list my employment as an independent contractor online using a variety of technology-based skills. Before moving on, one-on-one is an incredibly useful expression that we use in many ways. It refers to a situation in which two people come into direct contact, opposition, or correspondence. We use it a lot to talk about a private meeting or class between two people. Now, are there any qualifications still missing? That's right, I mentioned absolutely nothing about foreign language skills. Why did I leave this out? Well, you don't need to put everything from your resume into your cover letter. They are complementing each other, not copying each other. In my resume, I explained my German and Japanese language skills, so I didn't include them here. Additionally, I don't speak Spanish, but I still applied for this position. Even if you don't fit all of the requirements, don't despair or worry about it. You can still apply for the job. For example, even if you don't feel your English is quite ready yet, sometimes it's still worth applying. Worst case, you don't get the job. But you got to practice interviewing, which will help you in your next one. Now, if I had wanted to mention my language skills, even though I didn't meet the requirements exactly, how could I do that? Mini tip number 1. Avoid using negative language. Not, don't, none, no, but, and so on. Let's revisit that having done something, I've learned something structure again, with a little twist. Rather than saying, I don't speak Spanish, but I speak German and Japanese, saying something like this would be a better alternative. Having studied both German and Japanese for many years, I can empathize with the challenges of learning a foreign language. By switching I have learned something with I can do something, we can talk about the skills we will be able to do soon based on our previous experiences. How could you change this negative statement into a positive one? I haven't worked as an independent contractor before, but I have worked in a lot of other positions. Having worked in a lot of other positions, I can learn the responsibilities of an independent contractor easily. Get rid of the negatives and put a positive spin on things. You have other skills that can make up for any requirements that you don't perfectly match. Tip number 3. Talk about why they should hire you. Why are you special? Can you find where I said something similar to, "You should hire me," in my second paragraph? Rather than saying, "You should hire me because," which is a little pushy or even rude, it is better to use expressions like "to be well suited for something" or "to do something." A grammar tip. When using "to be well suited for," the phrase must be followed by a noun. And when using "to be well suited to," it must be followed by a verb. I would be well suited for this position at Deliberate English LLC. I would be well suited to work with Deliberate English LLC. We can also say to be a good fit for something or my skills align with something to mean the same thing. How might you replace well suited with other similar expressions in this sentence? I would be a good fit for Deliberate English LLC. My skills align with Deliberate English LLC. Looking at my second paragraph again, can you find my list of skills? Well organized, can manage a variety of roles, focus on doing whatever is best. Mini tip number 2. When making a list of skills, keep it to 3 things. You want to be concise, short and to the point when explaining anything in your cover letter. Sometimes less is more, meaning the quality of your cover letter will be much better if you don't overwhelm the reader with too much information. For example, Kevin had this to say about hiring for this position. Very important. I had to look at over 500 applications when hiring you and Ingrid. If I see a 2,000-word cover letter, there's a good chance I'm not reading it. Think of the expression, "it's quality over quantity." You only want the best and most useful information included. You don't need every single little detail about every single job you have ever done in your entire life. Something to keep in mind is that this "why should you hire me" section is actually less about you and more about what the employer gets by hiring you. So what exactly did my list of skills mean to the employer? Let's review the paragraph once more with a little feedback from Kevin. I've been fortunate to experience a range of teaching circumstances. Great! I have a wide range of things for her to do. I am well organized. Thank God, I don't want to have to micromanage. Can manage a variety of roles. Perfect! She'll need to teach, make videos, and create challenges. And focus on doing whatever is best for my students. Hopefully this means she's open to feedback. Tip number 4. Keep your overall tone friendly but professional. How can you do that? Let's look at the third paragraph in my cover letter. An easy way to keep your tone sounding friendly is to write as if you are speaking to the employer directly. I look forward to hearing from you and the chance to pick your brain about the program your company has developed. Additionally, using 1 or 2 idioms, for example, to pick your brain, meaning to ask questions, is a fun way to make the tone of your letter feel more relaxed and friendly. Idioms are typically used in daily conversation and not formal or academic writing. Including 1 or 2 makes your letter sound less stiff. To summarize, write like you would speak at work, minus filler words and pauses, of course. Tip number 5. Finish by requesting a follow-up with the employer. Let's look at paragraph 3 one more time. This final sentence was actually a sneaky or clever way to let the employer know that I am confident that they will contact me for an interview, And when they do, I have things relevant to the position or the company that I want to discuss with them already in mind. You can include some questions for the employer in your cover letter, but there is a risk to asking basic questions that they might feel you should already know the answer to before applying. To minimize the risk of asking a question like that, implying a discussion topic is a better option. Whew! We have covered quite a lot about cover letters today. Before we wrap up, I want you to keep the following points in mind. When you're ready to write your own cover letter, get your resume out and write your cover letter as a supplement to your resume. Keep the job listing requirements in mind and address most of them in your cover letter. Even if you don't meet all the qualifications, apply anyway. Just make sure to avoid using negative language. Talk about why they should hire you by listing your skills and explaining what benefits they gain from selecting you for the position, but keep it short and sweet. Keep your tone friendly but professional. And finally, request a follow-up with the employer to seal the deal. Ready to practice? See you in the community!